Hey, what's going on? I thought I'd do something different this time. My daughters kept saying, man, you should do a Q&A. You should answer questions. So I sent out an email and I want to answer the first questions that I received. So let's go. Let's see here. Question number 1. There are a lot of people talking about the event that is about to happen. I have never heard you mention this event of a mass awakening. What are your thoughts on this? Man, it's about time. I mean, I actually thought that this was going to happen in 2012. I thought that what happened to me was going to happen to everybody on the planet. Literally, that's what I thought. And then it didn't happen, which was a bummer. But it had happened to me, and I knew it was real. And so even though it didn't, happen on a... I had very, very high expectations. But I knew that it had happened to me. So I knew it was real. And I knew that it had happened to my friends. Some of them, not all of them. But some of the ones that, in retrospect, I had this immediate bond with these people. And so these friends that I had met, they also were attracted to this light, these frequencies. And you could say that they became an anchor for this. I mean, I know that I'm here to anchor this light. And I actually thought I was late to the game. I mean, because I didn't really discover this until like the end of 2011. And I was like, oh my God, how come it took me so long to figure this out, to find this? You know what I mean? To feel this, to And so I actually thought I was late to the game. But I've always kind of felt a little late to the game. But, so man, I'm ready. I mean, let's do this. I'm ready. I mean, I've spent the last 7 years trying to raise the frequency of every single person that I meet. And I think I've done a good job. But dude, I'm ready for the mass awakening, because when that happened to me in 2011, actually it's more like 2012, man, I just detached from reality because I could no longer buy into the illusion of what was going on. I mean, I saw everything through energies and frequencies, and I just knew that was the old energy, and I knew that its time was up and it was leaving. I have zero desire to go back to the 3D world. And I mean, I'm not going to. I'm not even really in the 3D world, but I'm all for it. I'm ready. And if it's a big purple wave in the sky of energy, then cool. But this light's here. I don't actually think that it's going to be a mass awakening. I really don't, man. I really want to. I really want to believe that. And, I believed that with everything I had in 2012. But I just think that it's happening in stages. And I think certain groups of people are awakening at different times. And thank God that there were all these people that it happened to before it happened to me, because they could help me better understand what was going on. I think it's happening in stages to ease us into it. Because if the whole planet just immediately went through this awakening, this kind of awakening where you just walk around crying because everything's so beautiful, I don't know. I mean, that would be cool. I'm up for it. I'm totally up for it. But I don't have my hopes up for that. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's happening in stages. And anybody that is even interested in following this information of this mass awakening, man, it's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. And when I see people talking about certain dates, man, people get excited. And the reason I know they do is because I get excited. It's like, oh, finally, it's just like, man, we can move on from this friggin' world that is just complete lies and corruption and greed. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I think that what we have on the planet is going to slowly implode, and then we'll improve each system that's breaking down, and I think we'll replace these archaic systems with systems of light that help everyone. So, I mean, man, I hope it happens. I really do. Sometimes the wording, we talk about light, waves of light. Well, I have those waves of light going through me right now, but you can't see them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a light that is visible in our spectrum. So when I hear about, I don't know. I'm just saying that the light that I know that changed my life, these frequencies, these feelings of, you can just feel this connection with your higher self, with everything. But the reason I don't talk about it is because I wouldn't make any videos back then. You know what I mean? I was just talking about it to my friends, and I talked about it so much, and then it didn't happen. I don't know. I'm just cool to live out my life. I mean, I'm more interested in the consciousness, because when this awakening happens, then it's all about consciousness, this field of consciousness, and how we're creating our life and how we're all connected. So that's my whole focus. And I have watched a couple videos, and they're talking about raising your frequency. I don't think it's really about raising your frequency as much as it's about letting go of the fear, because the fear is the only thing that's going to hold you back. I mean, hold your frequency down. You have to let go of the fear. And my God, is fear off the charts lately? I mean, oh my God, I will have to say that I'm enjoying this implosion. I know that doesn't sound right, but man, I kind of am. And the more it implodes and the more secrets that come out, the giddier I get, because I know that has to implode before we can move on. So speaking about that one, let me go to, where was this one? This one. You have mentioned many times how important it is not to waste time with conspiracy theories. Do you think it's important? Don't you think it's important to know how corrupt our leaders are and how manipulated we are? Isn't avoiding these topics running away from the dark? No, dude, not at all. Not at all. It's not about running away from the dark. It's about understanding the dark, realizing the dark, seeing the dark in you. We all have this darkness in us. You can't run from the dark. You have to have, there's this old saying, and I really enjoy this. It says, only after you've mastered the dark are you allowed to play with the light. And I see that. I see that because you can't run away from the dark. You can't be afraid of the dark. You got to be like, there's the dark. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm over here. There's no running away. So, yes, if you think that everything is going perfect, and that we're not controlled, and we haven't been manipulated to believe the world is a different way, then maybe you should look into some conspiracy theories. But, once you realize how corrupt everything is and how manipulated we are, then how long do you want to stay there? Because that is not raising your frequency. That fear, that is just, it's not raising your frequency. And when you raise your frequency, that can't affect you anymore. It literally can't. And I know that sounds crazy, but it can't. Because that's not the way this world works. This is, in my opinion, we're living in a holographic reality. And we are constantly sending out electrical and magnetic vibrations out into the field. And what matches that is trying as hard as it can to get to us. And what doesn't match that is trying as hard as it can to get away from you. So I don't think it's about sticking your head in the sand. I can see how you would think that, but so I can't, so the next question is, I can't feel the frequencies. Why not? Man, I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's like everything else. I think certain people, it's going to come really natural to. They're just going to feel it. And I think others, you have to maybe just practice a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like maybe your beliefs and maybe the way your life has went so far, you haven't been exposed to that. That could be, we can only see what we can see. It reminded me of the other day I took my kid fishing to the ocean, and I'm not a fisherman. Like I don't know how to fish, but I'm starting. And my kid's into it. So we go, and I'm going with one of my friends, and he's a fisherman. And so we're walking along the ocean, and he's like, "Oh, look at this fish, look at this fish." And I'm looking at the fish, and I can't see the fish. Like, I can't, he goes, right there, right there. And I could not see the fish because I'm not trained to see those fish. You know what I mean? But as I fish a few times, I will start to see things differently. I will see those fish soon. But it's a matter of, and I really, with what's happened to me, I know that I've done this thousands of times. This is what I do. I carry this frequency. I travel the universe with many of you, and this is what we do. We bust up systems. When systems are ready to make a massive change, we go there and speed the process along, help the process, do our part. So, I don't really talk about this stuff much because, like I said, I'm more focused on how many times you think that's going to ring. I just let that go because I don't want to get up. So okay, I guess I'll get it. Oh, it stopped, cool. So, I've done this. If you're watching this video, you've done it too. We've been waiting for this. This is what we do. So maybe that's why the people that can feel it. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know. I wish everybody could feel it, and I'm sure everybody that wants to feel it will be able to feel it. Because there's something about feeling it. Like when you can feel your body vibrating, and you can feel this connection with the field, it changes who you are. You're not wishy-washy on your beliefs. You know. You know. And when you know, then it doesn't matter who you're around. You could be around 100 people that think you're crazy, and you don't care. You don't care. And so, which leads me to the next question. No one that I hang out with seems to be waking up. And when I talk to family and friends about the ME, Mandela effect, and these changes that are occurring inside me, they think I'm crazy. Well, then quit talking to them about it. Really. I'm not trying. It's time to move on past trying to convince people. I really believe that. Now's the time when I just don't think we need to talk to people about it anymore. You know what I mean? They believe what they believe. They're at their level, and you can't force these concepts on people. You know what I mean? And obviously anybody that's experienced these alternative memories, no, you cannot. People are just not. You're either ready for it or you're not ready for it. And by trying to force these grand concepts into their box of beliefs, doesn't work out well. It doesn't work out well for the relationship. So I don't do that. I don't do that. So what are your thoughts on UFOs and extraterrestrials? Man, really? Of course I believe in extraterrestrials and UFOs. You know, I'm kind of upset that I haven't seen one. And I'm kind of upset because it's like, I don't know. I've kind of believed in other life forms my whole life. I mean, how can you literally go outside and look up at the stars and realize that these are small figures, 1 billion stars in our galaxy, in 1 billion galaxies? I mean, that's even, and we're the only life? I mean, really? And I think we should start being more open about this. You know what I mean? Because there's always that fear of being ridiculed. You know what I mean? Like, don't want to talk about like other life forms. You know what I mean? Because people think you're crazy. Well, you know who's crazy? People that believe that we're the only intelligent life in the universe. Dude, that's nuts. Nobody's consciousness comes from Earth. I mean, your consciousness existed before Earth. Your consciousness chose to come to Earth to go through these experiences. When the day that our families come to greet us, our family from the stars, dude, I want to be front row. I can't wait. I can't wait. But I say that, and if there was an alien behind me, I might poop my pants. I might not be able to handle it. And that might be a reason that I haven't had, contact. Maybe there's a fear in me that I'm not. Well, I'm kind of aware of it. But, so, anyway, let's go on. Yes, I believe in UFOs, and yes, I believe in extraterrestrials. Have I missed one? Wave flight. Oh, man, this is a tough one. This is tough. It's not tough because it's just better to, I don't know. I had a very difficult childhood growing up. I was mentally and physically abused and feel broken. How do you begin to love yourself when you don't even like yourself? I think the first thing you have to do is you have to forgive the people forgive your parents, forgive whoever did that. Forgive them. They were doing the best they can with their limited faculties. And with the energies that were playing at those moments, they were doing the best they could. And I think that you need to reinvent yourself. You can't continue to look back at the past, because when you look back at the past, you're recreating that in the present. Because all we have is the now. And the only thing that is keeping that running in your consciousness, in the stream of consciousness, is going back and reliving that. And usually when we relive things, they're even worse than they were. I mean, when you do look back on the past, it would help to look at things from a different perspective. I mean, how did that make you stronger? How did that change your view on life? How did there are positive pain, chill. You know, one thing I would think is, you know, if you look at yourself in the mirror every morning and you say, I love you. I love you. And you're looking directly at yourself. Now it's going to be tough in the beginning. But dude, loving yourself is the most important thing you can do right now. And so when you say those words, you're not going to have much emotion behind them. You're going to know that you're lying. You know, because you at the moment, maybe you don't love yourself. But you're going to start finding things in your life that you're grateful for. And so you need to think about what you're grateful for. And as that emotion, you start feeling this gratitude, then you need to say, I love you. You love yourself. And I guarantee you, if you do that for 21 days, you will start to love yourself. You will start to have an emotion, like a passion when you say that. The gratitude that you have for what you have in your life and the gratitude for all the negative things that have happened to you is going to increase, and it'll start snowballing, and you will start loving yourself. And it is like the most crucial thing we can do right now. We have to love ourselves. You know, we're so caught up in this world and we're trying to save the world. We need to save ourselves first. We need to heal ourselves first. Because in reality, what's going to happen during this awakening, this mass event, is all this corruption. We have to heal those people. We have to forgive them. We can't hold that. We can't hold on to that. We will have to forgive them and heal them. I mean, they're just lost. We're all the same. We're all the same. They're just farther away from the light. But that's, you know, we're all the same. We're all connected. So we're gonna have to forgive them. I mean, so that's another reason I'm done with conspiracy theories, because I know that when the shit hits the fan, we're gonna have to forgive them. So, next question. I'm a 21-year-old psychology major. Jordan Peterson is one of my idols, and I believe he is one of the most influential thinkers of our time. Why did you make a derogatory video about him? I guess it was derogatory. I don't know, man. I don't see the world the way I used to. I really don't. I see things completely differently. Here's why I made a derogatory video about Jordan Peterson. That's because I was watching a video and it was him and his daughter. And he was going through saying how he has been battling chronic severe depression his whole life. And how his daughter is severely depressed, and she has been battling severe depression her whole life. And then he said how his father has battled severe depression his whole life. Then the interviewer says, well, maybe one day scientists will find in our DNA what is causing this chronic depression to run in families. Are you shitting me? I mean, here's a guy, he's a psychologist, this well-renowned psychologist, and he can't figure out that the reason he's depressed and his daughter's depressed and his dad's depressed is because they've been taught the same belief systems, and that it's their beliefs about the world that are creating this depression. These beliefs that are not in alignment with who we really are as spiritual beings on this planet. He can't see the connection between his thoughts and his feelings of depression. That's nuts. That is nuts, dude. And when I see something that is so blatantly obvious to anybody that understands that your thoughts are creating your reality, and that by the time we're 7 years old, we have inherited our parents' beliefs, and that is the software that runs, that serves as the foundation for who we are. And if we don't change those beliefs, that will run 90% of the thoughts that we have in our life. I mean, so you have these troubles in your past that have influenced who you are, and you're crazy depressed. And so their way of dealing with this is to go back in the past and to waller in these. No, dude, no. The quickest way is to recreate your past, because the past doesn't exist. The past is an illusion, and we're recreating the past in the present. And if you can go back and you can recreate your past, okay? I mean, you can. And you can. And so go back to recreate who you are. Because if you're chronically depressed, who you are is not working. So recreate who you are, and doors will open up. Your life will change. You're not going to create a better future by going back into a low frequency past and wallowing in that. Because when you go back to the past, you're creating that in the present, which is drawing that to you in the future. I mean, so I'm sorry if I'm not on the Jordan Peterson bandwagon, but that is an old energy thinking, and I am done with that. Next question. What are your thoughts on smoking marijuana? Well, I have a bias for my thoughts on smoking marijuana. I think that marijuana is one of the best I think it's one of the best medicines on the planet. I'm not a big drinker. I just don't like to drink. So if I want to take the edge off, or if I'm going to a party, I prefer to take a couple hits off a joint. One hit now, since I'm so old, I only like one hit. But in the marijuana, it affects everybody differently. So I'm not like promoting marijuana, but for me personally, marijuana puts me at a frequency where I am super creative. My mind just functions perfectly, and I come up with some connections to things so rapidly, and that I enjoy it. I enjoy on the weekend, smoking a little marijuana, and so I'm I got some interesting, because see, I've never smoked marijuana and been paranoid. Like it just doesn't affect me that way. But it does affect some people that way. And I have a theory about that. And that is that I saw this Chinese dentist. I read this article about this Chinese dentist. And he used no Novocaine, no pain medicine, no nothing. And what he would do before he would do his, dental work, he would hypnotize his patients. And the only thing he would tell them is, your mouth is full of saliva. And I was like, wow, that's a really weird thing to hypnotize your patients. But what I found out was later in the article is your mind, your body, you should always have a lot of saliva in your mouth. That's a sign that you're healthy, no stress, everything's going great. You have a lot of saliva in your mouth. And when you don't have a lot of saliva, you go into fear mode, and you go into like survival mode, and there's like this panic, that happens. And so he would hypnotize them and, tell them that their mouth was full of saliva. And then I started thinking, wow, when you smoke marijuana, you get cotton mouth. The inside of your mouth dries out. And I was thinking, I wonder if some people, not all people, but some people, when they smoke marijuana, their mouth dries out and their body goes into fear and panic mode because they know that something's wrong. It's like, you're not supposed to have a dry mouth. So, I don't know, man. I think there's a connection. So, if you are going to smoke marijuana, make sure you have a lot of water so you don't get dehydrated. So, no, I'm not a big drinker, and if some people like to drink and some people don't do anything, and, I like to take the edge off. You know what I mean? I like, I got 3 kids that are constantly creating turmoil in my life, and so since I don't like to drink, I take a weed. So, I think that's it. Is that 10? But Flat Earth. You know what? I actually made a video on Flat Earth. It's not called Flat Earth. It's called Everything You Believe to Be True. Everything you believe is true to you. And I didn't actually talk about Flat Earth. I talked about unicorn farts and how they were the key to longevity. And I will say that the flat earthers that leave comments are literally the rudest, most condescending fuckers, dude, that leave comments. I mean, it's just like, you're not going to get many people to be interested in researching flat earth when you're such an asshole to them. So, like, whatever. But here, here's like my thing. It's like, why are the people, why would somebody cover that up? I mean, what's the benefits of that? Actually, the big thing is, right out there is the beach. And so, I don't know, 4 days a week, I go out to the beach and I watch the sunset. And when it disappeared, if I took a telephoto lens and I zoomed in, I would still be able to see the sun. Dude, there ain't no sun. When the sun goes down, the sun is gone. So, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not a flat earther, and if it doesn't matter. This is holographic. We're living in a holographic field of consciousness. That is more important. The fact that our experience on this planet is holographic is far more important than if the world is a globe or it's flat. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So that's it. So I don't know how this worked. I don't know how well it went. Maybe I'll just go back to making my other videos. But if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them. That wasn't many. That was all the ones that were asked. So I figured I'd just go ahead and answer them all. So, I think the event, man, hey, dude, let's do this. I'm ready for it. So, okay. Peace to everybody. Keep your frequencies high. Let go of the fear. Trust yourself, and everything is going to work out perfect. Okay. Peace.